So generally speaking, what you'll see is that you can kind of break down types of images into two categories. You have either pictures that are, generally capturing real things, or even kind of illustrations that are more realistic. That have texture and gradients within them and nuance, as well as that's one type, and then the other would just be graphics. Okay, so graphics typically are more, I don't want to say abstract, but they're generally simpler concepts of usually real world things, but they can also be abstract as well. They're using lines and shapes, and often lettering as well. Typically what you're trying to do, it's kind of like a character design for a cartoon. You don't draw hyper real characters in an animation. You instead will take the character and you caricature them, as a simpler drawing, that more accentuates what you're trying to say about maybe a real person, so that it's an exaggerated sense that gives you visually a better understanding, than maybe the real world counterpart. Okay, so usually when you're creating graphics, I mean, they can be used for any number of things, but like I said, they're usually flat designs. So like logos will be graphics. You're not going to use a photo for a logo. I mean, there are some that kind of are like that, but those aren't generally a good idea. You'll see them in banners, signage. So like there's vinyl signage where they have to cut shapes out. So usually signage is like that. If you think of when you're driving down the road, they need to make very clear, obvious things that read well. They're not going to show you pictures of the road that is going to curve to the left. They're going to have an icon that you can clearly read quickly and is easy, and is legible, as opposed, so just a black arrow on a yellow background. Those are good uses of graphics. Okay, so if you look, you can see these are obviously both pictures of cone, right? But this one is a photo, right? And this one is a graphic. Okay, so you can see that this one's a bit simpler, boils it down to simpler concepts, fewer colors, things such as that, more easily read and reproduced, as opposed to this, which is pictorial and has a lot of detail, takes a lot longer to look at, that sort of thing. Okay.